Hello, everyone. We are live on Facebook, and I'm continuing Daily Reality with Alex. Today is 1st of January, 2023. So we are in a new year, and there is a lot in this new cycle that is before all of us. And whatever we decide to move forward into this new cycle, it is anyhow going to have a lot of the things that have been happening during the previous year that are going to be imported into the new year. But anyhow, since we have made this perception that this is a new cycle and today is a new day from a new year, we are just entering the new cycle as empty beings and are ready for totally new experiences, for totally new perception. And this is a beauty when one cycle finishes and another cycle starts, that then we can be open-minded. And I would like to speak today about the raw reality of how we are experiencing reality and why it is not so easy to find the truth, to know the truth, to express the truth, to see the truth, because in order to see it, we need to allow ourselves to experience reality as it is and not to put our perception and not to look into and observe reality only through what is inside of our being and our mind conditioning. So in a sense, it is up to us to what extent we are going to allow truth and reality to enter into our being in order to be able to interact more and more with the truth of what is out there. Of course, deep inside of us, there will always be part hidden inside of us that is going to know that there is something beyond, that there is an unknown, and that we are not going to be able during this period while we are experiencing here reality on this cycle, while we are here from the moment we are born till the moment we are exiting this part of reality. And when we speak about truth, when we speak about objective reality, when we speak about what is out there, it is very difficult to be described because it's not only one thing. And the second thing that makes difficult to describe reality is that it is not only us out there. The third thing that is making difficult to describe reality is that it is not also our species out there. Yes, we know there are animals. We know that we are a little bit above the animals, and a lot of the researchers are saying that it is so because of the consciousness, and the consciousness is the big thing that is making us more different than all the other beings that are present in our physical materiality. But since we are border zone creatures, there is much more to us. And also there is another problem with us, that the different parts of our being are developing with different pace. And since we are still work in progress, no one can ever describe to you or can describe to me what exactly we are, because till we start to understand who we are, until we start knowing ourselves, we are already something more and something newer. So it is very important to have a much more broader perspective upon reality in order to be able to be interactional and to be grounded into the reality that we are experiencing. And that's why for me, it's very important all of us stay as broad-minded as possible and to never ignore or say, well, Alex, I'm going to be dogmatic and I'm not going to accept some parts of reality, and it is very easy for all of us once we start accepting the mythos of reality. And then it is very easy to see, are we going to be kept only in the logos and only in what we can experience in the moment? And can we say that the reality is only what we're experiencing in the moment? In a sense, it is so, but also reality has direction, it has purpose, and it has meaning, and not always the meaning and the purpose is what is our stage in the moment of the development that is explaining a bigger and a higher purpose than with what we normally think. So basically, a lot of people are thinking that we're just an individualized consciousness, but according to all the experiential reality and all the mythos that are out there, it is something more. There are much more probabilities, and it is much more richer and much more complex what is out there. And of course, based on the different mythos that exists, and we are all going to say, well, Alex, everything that you think and you have heard about reality, we are going to reject 90% of it because it's not possible. It's not what we think. We are going to be grounded on our level, only on the experiential level of understanding and deciding just to stay hugged into the physical materiality, and nothing else is important for us in the human experience. And is it so? To some extent it is so, but there is much more purpose and meaning into us being here in this reality. And for me, it is very important to be as much as broad-minded as possible, because then it helps us to really go into the specifics. For sure, we are experiencing that there is some part of us that is limitless, and we are experiencing that in our mind we can feel that we are much more, and in the realm of probability we are thinking that we are like gods, or that everything depends only on ourselves. And then we discover our ego, and we are willing to feel all the reality with ourselves. And if you ask a human being, is there something more than it? And if you ask it based on the solipsism and what the mind is trying to project into the reality, everything is an interconnection between the mind realm and reality, and nothing else exists. But this is only one layer of who we are. There are so much more layers, and since we are border zone creatures, it is not only one layer of reality that is describing everything that is out there. And that is why, if we are much more broadened towards reality, it is going to help us to understand a lot of things from a higher perspective. The more higher and higher we go into our perspective about reality, it is much more easier then to understand the little limitations that we are experiencing on a daily level. Then it's much more easy to understand the different data stream feed that is coming to us on a daily level, and you are going to be amazed how much reactive beings we are for so small things, while we are missing and ignoring the big things that are happening for us, through us, by us in reality. And that's why I'm going just to give you maybe 2 or 3 examples of how are you to broaden your mind and to never stay in the dogmatics. It doesn't matter how much of humanity in the moment is trending towards some specific dogmatic limitations, and it's describing and saying that this is everything that is out there. Be sure that everything that is in these boundaries of explanation is just of an iceberg, and it is. I'll give you the simple example with the so-called reincarnation principle. While we are thinking that we are here in this earth only to participate in life, only to learn something, that this is a school, that this is a trap for the soul, that we are just here experiencing things that are not helping us, and we are suffering. And one day, when we are 100% free, and our mind realm and our spirit realm is able to express itself, only then we are going to feel our real potential and expand our real reality interactions and expression. And that's why today's world and today's reality is actually not important at all, and we are not to be functional in interactional today. But if you think that instead of the human beings going through reincarnational cycles, if you think that there is something more transformational that is happening with the human beings, and actually that we are work in progress, and our period now here in this planet, in this experience, in this earthly realm, is like a womb. Womb is where the woman is bearing her child. And since in reality, everything is a reflection of something else, and everything consists into the next, can you imagine that actually the so-called universe that we so much like to worship and to think that we are one with it is actually a big womb in which we as the human beings are just going through our phase, and instead incarnating, actually going to be created a womb, a new type of universe for all of us to be able to go into our next experience. And in this experience, we're just seeing now and are preparing ourselves, and we're just seeing the shadows of what is going to happen in the next universe and the next place where we are going to exist in a different type of body, in a different type of data stream, and then all this experience that we are having right now in this so-called matrix from some of the people, because there are different types of labels that can be put about this. I am now putting you the label of the womb in order to understand that we are still in a stage of fetuses, and there are still some part of us that are being, and they are developing not for this experience here, but they are developing for something else that is going to happen. And there is one saying in the Bible where it is written that the first Adam was a living being. So the first Adam is someone that is consuming life, that is in necessity to take energy out of the so-called womb of the universe, and is someone that needs the unity in order to experience the life experience in the mother center there, and you are going through these processes of different things in one experience. And actually, we are the ones that are going to be transformed and be prepared for a new type of universe and a new So we have some internet disconnection, and if you are not able to continue to listen to this, it is going to be of two parts. So in the second part, I'm speaking about open-mindedness, where we are understanding that everything that is developing in us now as a human being, some of the things that are developing in us, in our spiritual being, in our emotional being, in our mental being, not all of the things are able to be tapped 100% now during this experience. And it is important to know it because a lot of people are going into frustrations and don't enjoy the reality in which they are in the moment, and they think that this type of reality is actually trapping us, it actually limiting us, and we are the ones that need actually these limitations. We need these sufferings in order to develop a better cord connection with our source, and in order to be able to be prepared for our next stage. And which is our next stage? From living being, the first Adam, to be transformed into life-giving spirits. Life-giving spirits means that no more it will be necessary for us to use energy from the new universe in which we are going to have our next experience, but we are going to be part of the life creation, and we are going to have much more responsibility in life. Now we have responsibility for things in life. Now we are manifesting things. Now we are exploiting reality. Now we manage the trees. We manage this earth. We are doing some of the things, but we are connected now to managing things in the earthly realm. In the next type of experience, we are going to manage actually part of the life streams itself. So it's a different type of being that is going to be on a different level of experience. And in this way, it is going to happen that it is like the New Year cycles. There are different cycles through which we as a human beings are going. And now, during this life experience, instead of thinking that this is just an earthly process of schooling and learning something and then forgetting and then learning again, and there are different theories, but all the theories are staying and standing in only this universe, and we think that this universe is going to be the eternal thing that only exists, and only this physical matter reality is everything that is out there. But maybe there is totally a reverse option where it's not us that are reincarnated, but it is us only developing in order to be prepared for the next stage, where we are going to enter a totally new type of environment, and we are going to be transformed into a new type of being. So, in a sense, this is why, and this is the reason why we don't understand a lot of the meaning, a lot of the reasoning of what is happening with us, because we are staying in a small period, in a small cycle of, let's say, something like 80 or 90 years, and we don't understand that there is a much more broader future that is prepared for each one of us. And of course, little by little, we are prepared during our earthly experience to understand the other world towards which we are later going to be imported in. And yes, we have a beginning, we have an exit from this reality, but long term, we are prepared for the next phase. And this is what I wanted to tell you, that if we are more and more open-minded, we are going to understand so many things, and then we are going to understand why there are relationships between the human beings and the beings that are above ourselves as conscious beings. And yes, in a sense, we can have direct connection with the creator, even of the universe, and we don't need to feel that we are only part with this womb, that we are part with this cosmos, that we are part with the stars. I know a lot of people are thinking that they are so much aligned with the stars and this is everything and this is giving them energy, and to some of us the earth is giving energy, and we listen and go into so much theories and explanations where we are put into dissolving ourselves in this reality and this womb. But if we are actually prepared for something else, as the baby is not knowing what is happening and why it is going through these 9 months, in order to enter a new phase, and while the baby, let's say, have an eyes in the womb, he cannot see strongly, but he's seeing shadows, he's hearing, but it's not the same type of hearing. And now everything in this experience, we are feeling that there is something more, but it is always going to be hidden. It is always going to be non-perfectly understood. And there are no sages, there are no gurus that can explain you what is out there. And of course, when we go into the mindset coaching, when we go into what can we actually use from everything that is prepared for us in the future, now in our moments in reality, and Alex, can we start do things that are not possible even to be done in this universe? And there are so many probabilities that are going into our minds that are not possible to be experienced in this earthly experience in the moment, but it doesn't mean that long term they are not going to be experienced from all of us. And this is a very small understanding, and I would like in 2023 all of us to broaden our minds and to be opened, because reality is not only coaching, is not only mindset, is not only these small things that we want to experience called the world and the realm of the effects, but actually when we start entering and deepening ourselves into the unseen, into the deep, into the realm of the unknown, then the real life starts to open itself for us. And then we understand the reason why there is connection. Then we understand our deeper meanings of existence. So thank you for watching today. Enjoy your reality and be prepared for a much more raw reality, and be as much as possible open-minded, and never stay into a specific small dogmatic experience that this is everything that is out there. Bye-bye.